I was born and raised in Germany, and in 2018 I finished school at the German high school. But as soon as I saved enough money, I left Germany and moved to Bali. At the same time, most of my school friends, they started studying or working immediately. And I just thought, why? We just spent 13 years, 8 hours a day in school, so we finally have some time for ourselves. And I loved the time in Bali. But after some time, I went back to Germany and I immediately felt unproductive and somewhat unhappy again. So I knew I have to leave Germany again. And then I decided to move to Cyprus, where I live now for more than 3 years, and I really love my life here. Hey everybody, it's Rico, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I left Germany and 7 things I utterly hate about the country and its society. So let's get right into it. And the first thing is actually the German conservative mindset and the society. And yes, this video is going to be a little controversial and some people may disagree. However, I will say exactly what I think, and if someone strongly disagrees with me, they can of course leave a comment down below and I may reply. However, interesting enough, I'm very sure that most people and most Germans will agree with me, especially the audience on this channel. Let's talk about school again. Most kids, they have big dreams and they aspire to become something very great. However, once they go to school and they spend more than a decade in school, at the end of those 13 years, for example, most of them, they just settle for an average life. They get so brainwashed growing up that they don't even think about what they want for themselves, and they are surrounded by other average people that tell them what to do, and then they actually become the same and they even start joking about their dreams and that they wanted to be this or that, and now they are just average and they accept it. And of course there's nothing bad with that. I mean, everyone can be whatever they want, but to me I really think that in Germany people become what they don't really want to be. They become what other people tell them to do. And in German schools we don't learn anything about personal development or other important things. We learn about mathematical formulas and then we go into the real world and we never use them in our entire lives once. So what I actually did is a big exception. I went to Bali, I left Germany, and I really thought about, what do I want in my life? And there in Bali I was completely on my own and no one could brainwash me. But this is not the normal case for German kids. In Germany normally you don't do that. You just do what your parents, teachers or other bigger elderly people tell you and you just follow their footsteps. And if you just try a little bit to do something else than the big masses, everyone points with the finger at you and then most people, they feel uncomfortable and they just go back to normality. And the German culture and the society, they reward that actually. So they want conformity, everyone being the same, following like a robot the day-to-day life and not having individual, unique people and personalities. As an individual person, someone with a strong personality in Germany, you actually become an outsider, and mainstream media is what dictates what most people in Germany think, do, like and dislike. Because most of the people, they watch German TV, radio, and they just believe everything that they hear. And if you don't believe the same or think the same or even say the same, if you just have a little bit of your own opinion, everyone points with the finger at you again. I remember in school, for me this was horror. I often disagreed with the teachers, but what could I do? A little teenager sitting in his chair in school, and if I say something else, the teacher just say, okay, leave the room. They just cancel you basically if you have your own opinion. And actually, recently I uploaded a TikTok. It got like 3 million views and I talked about the conservative and boring mindset of German people. And funny enough, exactly the same happened again. The TikTok actually is still online, but it got cancelled in just one country and no one in that country can see it anymore. And you can guess now which country it is. It starts with G. The second thing that I hate about Germany is pretty similar, but it's still very different and very important, and that is the closed-minded people there. Now that I left Germany and I moved to Cyprus, I really feel free here. I have my own business here. I'm a local influencer making videos about Cyprus, and people talk to me on the streets. They say, hey, we are watching your videos, we love it, keep going. And I really have the feeling that the people here support me. Whereas in Germany, this would absolutely not be the case. In fact, people would actually laugh about you. They would not support you. But if you then become successful after some time because you kept going and you pushed hard and you were hustling, people in Germany then actually start to become jealous and they develop envy. I know a lot of people in Germany with supercars, but it is not fun there. You can think, the Autobahn, yeah, you can drive as fast as you want, but the people, that are around you, they really hate when you drive supercars. For me personally, when I see a person in a supercar, I'm so happy for them. Genuinely, I am really even inspired, and I say to myself, everything in life is possible. But in Germany, if you leave your supercar outside and no one is watching, you will have scratches on the car. If you drive around the city, people will scream at you, hey, what you're doing? Hey, you got your daddy's money. Hey, this or that. Maybe, but you don't know him. You're just jealous in that way. And German society is just so ugly. Even just thinking about that just gives me goosebumps, because it's such a toxic personality type. If an American entrepreneur drives up with a supercar in America, the people think he's a very successful entrepreneur. But in Germany, if a successful entrepreneur with a supercar comes around, people think, he's ripping people off, he's selling drugs, he's doing this and that. And that is just a perfect example and the difference between Germany and most other countries. And this perfectly shows how closed-minded people in Germany are. And this actually hinders them from becoming free as well and achieving such things themselves, because they are just so not open to new things. And especially elderly people in Germany, you cannot tell them anything. They think they know everything better. And yes, for some people it may be, but just because you're old doesn't mean you're smarter than someone else. They have little respect for young entrepreneurs, people that are upcoming, and they just don't understand what they are doing. For example, if you're doing a YouTube video on the streets in Germany, people are looking at you and suddenly just laughing at you. Whereas they are working probably in a job that will not exist in 10 years from now, and content creators are actually the future. But they don't understand that. They are jealous. They live in their little bubble, go home, watch TV, and then just laugh about other people. There's just such a big lack of open-mindedness, critical thinking, and diversity in Germany. And even tolerance for people that do, because if there is someone that is like that, people don't accept him. And to sum this up, the best way to understand what I'm saying is to just go through a German city and just look into people's faces. They are looking like this, always looking for arguments, looking to discuss something, looking to point fingers at someone, and just living in their own bubble and not caring about their own business. Now, enough about people, and now let's talk about thing number 3 that I hate about Germany, and that is the high prices. And I'm talking specifically about taxes, rental prices, and service providers. And talking about taxes, I'm not talking about taxes in general, because there are very good arguments about why taxes in Germany are so high and why that is maybe good, even though it's still half of your profits, which is like a lot. But I'm talking about all the different kinds of taxes. So if you own a dog, you have to pay taxes for him. If you're religious, you have to pay taxes for that. And there are just so many other things that get taxed in Germany, where you talk about other people in other countries, they just laugh about it because they never heard about that. I mean, why would you tax a dog? And talking about rental prices, I think everyone knows how expensive rentals can be in Germany, especially in cities like Berlin, Munich, Frankfurt. You pay easily 2,000 euros for a 130 square meters apartment. And here in Cyprus, for that money, you can get a villa with a sea view and your own pool. And with public services, I don't mean service providers, because every service provider can decide their price on their own. However, what I mean is, for example, the health insurance in Germany. If you're an upcoming entrepreneur, you're not making that much revenue yet because you're just starting, you still have to pay all of the money that other bigger companies are paying as well. That is very high health insurance costs, hundreds of euros. Then also accounting and lawyers, hundreds if not thousands of euros, even though you're just starting out and you just tell them, hey, I want to do business, okay, 5,000 euros, for example. And then also hundreds of euros for licenses, documents, this and that. If you're doing a local business, don't get me started about that. Even just running a remote freelancing business online is a lot of costs involved. Electricity and gas prices, everyone knows how expensive they are. Then we have the public transport, very expensive. If you want to go from one city to the other with the train, for example, you easily pay 50 euros. Taking the bus, also super expensive, just driving 5 minutes, and the bus and the train would go there anyway, and you're paying that much of taxes and you still have to pay for public transport. Then also parking spots, don't get me started about that, because in Cologne you easily pay 30 euros per day just to park somewhere and leave your car there, which I don't understand why it's so expensive. Here in Cyprus, every parking spot is basically for free. And then people say that Germany is so modern and futuristic. And yes, of course it is. I get what you mean. But there are so many trains that are not on time. You can't pay with credit cards in most of the stores, which is common in many other countries. And yes, there are benefits for cash, but still we would want to have the opportunity to pay with credit card in a modern country or not. And then the last one is the internet. The internet in Germany is broadly just very, very bad for most of the Wi-Fi routers. I cannot upload anything in Germany. I don't understand it. Also my 4G LTE mobile phone internet connection, terrible. And that for a modern and futuristic country, I don't know. Thing number 4 is the weather, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to talk about that. It is so rainy, cloudy and cold in Germany most of the time. There is probably just like effectively 3 weeks of sunshine and then immediately rain and clouds again. Here in Cyprus, I haven't seen rain in literally 5 months now. We have over 300 sunny days here in Cyprus. Sometimes it's even so hot, I'm just sweating when I'm sitting here. Then I turn on the AC and then I go out to the beach. And in Germany, you cannot dream of that. We are not done, guys, because now number 5 is so interesting for a lot of people, and that is the rules and laws in Germany. They have rules for everything, and they get new rules by the day. How to drive a scooter, how to do this and that, how to fly a drone, how to walk the pedestrian walk even. I used to run very often in Germany, and still now because I love to jog, and oftentimes people just talk to me, hey, why are you walking here? Hey, why are you doing this and that? Hey, why you have your headphones in your ear? You need to listen. And I'm just like, let me run, man. There is such a big pedestrian walk, and it's splitted for bike drivers and for walkers. And because there are a lot of walkers, I used to go to the bike way. And of course, if there comes a bike, I go away, but people are just like, hey, why this? Hey, wow. Mind your own business, man. I really hate that. Here in Cyprus, I can do what I want. No one cares. Especially for upcoming entrepreneurs again, it gets even worse. You need a license for this. You need a document for this. But in order to get that document, you need the license. But to get the license, you need the document. So it's just so confusing, everything. For example, if your kid wants to sell lemon drinks on the street, you even need a license for that. And for local businesses, there are also so many rules, hygiene rules, music rules, that rules, because you cannot play any music in the background. You actually need licenses for that, funny enough. So in Germany, it is hard to become self-employed, especially if you're upcoming, you don't have that many resources yet, and you don't have someone in your family with power. So for new upcoming entrepreneurs in Germany, very, very hard, but not impossible. On the other hand though, unemployed people in Germany, they have many benefits. There are a lot of people that get hundreds and if not thousands of euros every month if they are unemployed. And even though they are super healthy, they just tell the government, hey, I don't work anymore, okay, here you go. Whereas at the same time, other people are working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and they get sometimes even less than the unemployed. And this is actually a huge reason why many people in Germany are lazy as well. Number 6 is something that really drove me crazy, and that is the bureaucracy as well as the wordings. Because in Germany, you can say a sentence pretty easily, but you can also say it in a way which is still grammatically correct, but no one understands it. And this is actually how they write the contracts, the laws, the rules. So you really don't understand anything if you get a document or a letter from the tax department, for example. They just tell you, hey, you have to do this and that, and you're reading it 20, 50, 100 times, and you're just, what? There's also so much unnecessary paperwork in Germany, talking about futuristic, and they even still have physical papers. For example, a friend of mine, he has 2 companies and about 5 properties. He has folders from the last 2 years only that are this big, and he has 10 of those. Physical paper. He's just one entrepreneur in Germany and just 1 or 2 companies actually. Imagine how many companies there are. There are probably hundreds of thousands of those folders of physical paper. Why? You can also digitalize it. Like here in Cyprus, for example, I have only my physical invoices that I send to my accountant every month, as well as the incorporation documents. So my company was incorporated in 2018, blah, blah, blah. It's situated at Cyprus, and that's it. I don't have any folders with documents, and I'm lucky about that. But it's not just about that. It is also about the legal warnings that you get on a regular basis in Germany. You're running a business, suddenly you get a letter from your competition. Hey, we saw that you don't have a cookie banner on your website installed correctly regarding to the GDPR rules. You have to pay 5,000 euros now. And you're just sitting there like, but I'm worth just 2,000 euros for upcoming entrepreneurs, for example. Yeah, you still have to pay it. You also have to pay taxes. You have to tax your dog and your cat and your rabbit. And this perfectly leads me to the next point, and that is that the German entrepreneurs and the businesses in Germany, they are so toxic as well, because they try to not lose instead of trying to win. They don't play to win, they play to not lose. And you see this with all the legal warnings. They really wait until you make a mistake, and then they can come with their big team of lawyers to you and just tell you, you're doing that wrong, so we get this amount of money now, and you also are not allowed to run your business anymore. So they just try to kick out the competition instead of increasing or developing their own product, developing their customer service, which is also not good in Germany, and developing basically their service providing whatever they are doing. No, we don't care about that. We want to kill the competition instead of improving ourselves. Okay, enough about the entrepreneur side, because it's not just that. Let's say you want to have a driving license in Germany as a normal person. Okay, you now have to do a medical first aid thing. You need to understand how the body works. Okay, fair enough. But then you also have to test your eyesight. Also fair enough. But then you have to do X amount of hours in order to really prove that you can drive. It's like 30 hours. Okay, yeah, why? But all right. Then theoretical, then practical tests, super hard. And also you have to pay about 3,000 euros in total for everything about that. I'm just looking if I forgot something, because it's pretty likely. And then after like 3 months, you maybe can get to your big test to get your driving license. And I actually made it in 3 months, not 3 weeks, 3 months. And I was super fast. Like 3 months in Germany to get your driving license is fast. Some people do it more than half a year. Some people do it 1 year. And then the costs to get your driving license go up and up and up and up. And this is also for normal people, one example. I actually have so much more to talk about now that I'm thinking about it, but I think the video gets too long. So let's continue with number 7. And this one is very, very ironic, because it is the German TV. The German TV inspires and supports people to live exactly as I just talked about, everything that we talked about previously. The German TV and the series, and specifically that run all day from like 12 to 6, they are so negative, pessimistic. They only talk about problems, relationship issues, and arguing with other people. There is really 0% positive about German series, and it's probably a big reason why people in Germany rationalize their mindset. The Germans, they are addicted to talking about other people, and if they see something in the TV that is not good, another family that has problems, they can just sit there in their couch and tell, yeah, they have problems just as me, so everything is good, everything is normal. You can watch TV and just point with your fingers on the TV all the time, and you just feel so good about it. But it's so hypocritical, because they probably have the same issues, and instead of fixing their issues, they are watching TV, wasting time there. But you could also talk to your family, read a book, go to the gym so that you're not obese anymore. You could try to learn how to eat healthy. You can start a little side hustle. But no, we want to watch TV and we want to be negative. Last thing that I will say is that Germans also love news. They are addicted to news. They watch German TV news all the time, and they just discuss whatever is going on in the news with other people around them. And I personally, I stopped watching news about 5 years ago. I even still remember one discussion I had with my teachers in school about why news are unnecessary, and yeah, I got kicked out of the room that day. I really don't understand why someone would watch news so heavily and addictive as Germans, because if something major happens, if something important happens, yes, of course I understand and respect that, but you will just hear about it anyway from the masses, from all the crowds, people outside talking about it. I know about everything important that is going on in the world, and I'm not wasting hours of my time during the day watching TV, news specifically. And the cherry on top for all of this is the so-called ARD tax, a tax every house in Germany has to pay every month for the German TV. Regardless of you're watching it or not, you have to pay 17 euros every month, something around that, for the German TV. And there is no reasoning to not do it. There were even people in prison, in jail, because they didn't want to pay for it. You have to pay it, otherwise you get censored. I think in order to understand what I just talked about, you need to be very open-minded. I'm not saying that I'm right here, not at all. I just share my own experience. Some people may agree, some people may not agree, and I respect both of them. I'm so aware that I can listen to both parties, and then I just make my own opinion. I hope that you understand how important a critical thinking is. Don't believe everything that anyone tells you, not even me. And if you like this kind of thinking, let's grow a community, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.